All right. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching now, you might be watching the replay, but we are live right now in the Creative Life Scholars Group. I am Sam Kimberly, the creator of Creative Life Scholars, and I am here today with Aney Carver. She is the founder and the artist behind PYROGRAPHY. I'm so excited to have her here because you guys, her art is amazing and she makes these beautiful videos, and I don't want to give everything away. I want her to show you some of the things that I know she's got some goodies to show us. So thank you so much, Aney, for being here. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
So the first thing that I think we need to address right off the bat is, what is pyrocrafting? What does that mean, and how did you get into it?
So pyrocrafting or pyrography is what a lot of people call it, is just the art of creating images and stuff like that burned into wood. So I have my little pen here on my desk. It's just a wood burning pen. And when you turn it on, their heat goes right to the tip, and then you can burn in different images and stuff into the wood. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot of people that use different forms of it. Some people use like the sun and magnifying glass and in different ways. But I got into it like 4 years ago. I was a graphic artist and a website designer, and I had been an artist for years just with pencil. And my husband brought home one of those little wood burning kits. You get it like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something. And he does woodworking as a shop where he does woodworking, and he brought it home to kind of test out to do something with. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try something. I love to experiment. I love to try stuff. And so I picked it up. I was like, I'm going to see if I can burn like a picture into the wood, because he was like trying to burn his name into something. And so I started drawing with it on the wood. And then I got on the internet and saw that, this is not new. This was like a thing. People, burn super detailed stuff into the wood and create these images and art pieces. And I just fell in love with it. And I have been doing it pretty regularly for the last 4 years.
Okay, so it's been 4 years.
Just kind of been building a little by little. Yeah.
So did he have that tool that you're using now? Is that something that he just had laying around? What was he using it for?
He went and picked it up at, I think, like Lowe's or Home Depot or somewhere. He was trying to burn his name into like a thing that he made. He does woodworking and stuff. And it didn't go well. He didn't like how it turned out, and he didn't like it. So I was like, I'm going to see if I can do something with this and see if I can, like, I tried, like, the first thing I did was like my initials. Like, I burned my initials and did like these little flowery things all around it. And it's like, man, this is a thing. I think I can do something with this. And then, that's when I got on the internet and saw that just the crazy world of pyrography and all the amazing things people do with it.
So when I see, because I watch your videos on Instagram, you guys, she's got a huge Instagram following. We're going to chat about that, huge YouTube following. But when I watch your videos, sometimes, like, I'll see an outline. Like, what do you use? You like sketch it first? Is that what you do first? Is that how the process works?
Sometimes I sketch it just with pencil, or sometimes I use like a carbon transfer. So if like I'm like, lettering is my biggest challenge. I'm not good at freehanding letters. So if somebody wants me to like burn their name into a sign, or somebody sends me their logo, I will, print it out and make a template, and then I'll transfer it to the wood using just like plain old carbon paper underneath.
So do you have some of your work by you? Do you have something that you can show what it looks like?
Yeah, so this is kind of like a little funky piece I did recently. There's not a lot to it. It's pretty plain, but I like to do these kind of abstracty pieces where I get to use texture and color.
So what's the color?
And it's just ink. I have those little bottles of like India ink. I like
Okay.
it because it doesn't cover up the burn area like a paint will cover up the spots I've burned already, whereas the ink just kind of stains the raw wood around it. I've also got this piece I made recently.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Thank
What's
you.
going on the inside there? Is that burned or is that glass?
It's glass. So um, I love to reuse stuff. We broke a lamp at the house, and it was like white ceramic or porcelain or something. And so I broke it up into smaller pieces and used my Dremel to kind of soften the edges so they're not sharp. And then I used alcohol ink to stain it these different colors, and then just glued it to the wood.
That is stunning. That is absolutely beautiful.
I love to do stuff like this, like kind of reuse old stuff. And then I've got a couple of pieces behind me here that are
Oh, yeah.
um, these silhouettes of people. I love to do these.
Your detail work is just amazing.
Thank you.
It is
And then I
beautiful.
just add like there's a color on top, and that's it.
So, another technical question. I see sometimes in your videos when you're burning, and there'll be like a little spark that kind of goes in a direction that, yeah, what do you do about sparks? What is the process for not burning yourself up or your studio down?
um, well, normally that it doesn't happen very often. If you've got the heat really, really high and you've got a piece of wood that's really soft, like a pine or balsa wood, it's really light and soft. And if your heat is up too high and you touch the wood, it'll set on fire. Um, I don't normally do that in the shop because, well, you only need so much heat. You don't need it to be on fire. But for Instagram content, for YouTube content, it's very people like it. People like to see the little bits where they touch on fire. So I'll do it a couple of times for the video, and then I'll turn my heat back down to a normal range.
Oh, that's so
But I
sweet.
don't normally burn that heat. And I have these little finger guards too. I wear these on my fingers. These are like you. These are made for curling wands. So when you're like curling your hair, you don't burn your fingers.
Oh,
But
man, I could use those.
I have found that they work the best. I used to use like a leather gardening glove, and it just wasn't thick enough, but these work great.
That is so cool. Yeah, I love watching your videos. I remember we talked about this at one point. Your videos, I think you told me that your videos have a following with the ASMR, ASRM community because of the noises, the
Yeah,
relaxing noises.
yeah, because I have one of those little lapel mics, and I can hook it up to my phone and put it really close to where I'm burning, so it picks up all of those wood burning crackly sounds. And then people just like to watch the sort of, it's really relaxing to people, just that satisfying sort of completion of me burning different things. And so there's kind of a following in the ASMR community for our videos, which is how, because some of our videos have gone viral, which is how, well, I mean, viral for Instagram. I don't mean like globally viral, but that's how we've kind of built that following. Some of our videos have caught, and then we'll get like an influx of followers from some of those.
Yeah, definitely want to chat more about that and your video content because I mean, yeah, I think you do videos so well. I think that it's amazing what you do to capture because you do some time lapse, but some not, and you do like a good variety of different kinds of videos. But just you do a good job of capturing the process. And I think that's not always easy because as artists, I think we don't necessarily know what people are gonna find interesting about our process. What did you have like a trial and error period with that?
Oh yes, I'm still there. I'm still in the trial and error period. I mean, sometimes things will do well and they'll, like I said, they'll catch on and then they get spread and they get shared and all of that kind of stuff. But then, some things fall flat. And to me, it's all about timing and kind of almost being in the right place in the right time on social media, which is why it's so important to create so much content and post, use different hashtags, post at different times of the day. And, if you're only posting one video a week, then your chances are much smaller to be seen. But if you're posting every day, or, the experts say post 4 times a day, which I just can't. I can't.
Yeah. So
I mean,
how
I just
often
can't.
are you posting? Like what is your content calendar? Do you have a content calendar? Like how many times do you try to post? How many videos do you try to get out in a week? That kind of thing.
So for the last 3 or 4 months, I've been posting at least one video a day. I mean, there might be a day where I forget or something like that, but my goal is at least once a day. And, that's kept our follower base steady and, trickling in a little by little. And then, like I said, if something catches, we'll get like a sudden influx, but that, sorry about that noise. My daughter's coming in.
No, it's
Um,
okay.
we will have, it's all about being steady and creating that content and, try, like you said, trying different things. I mean, seems like my close-ups do the best when I'm like really close in and, people can really see what I'm doing. Those always seem to do the best, but I also like to add in other stuff, just like a picture of a finished piece, or I like to kind of show the behind the scenes stuff sometimes, like, hey, I'm sketching out new ideas today, or hey, I'm trying this. I've never done this before. We'll see how it goes. And because some of that too is, I also want to engage the followers I already have. I don't want to just,
Right.
constantly create content that's trying to get new followers, but I really want to engage the ones I have. So I try to, sometimes my actual image or video won't be anything in particular, but the message has a lot more content. Like there's more to the message than there is in the actual video itself. Because I'm
Yeah, that
trying to,
makes a lot of
like,
sense. Yeah.
ask people what they think about things and engage people. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I think what you were just saying about, different kinds of content, I think it's really important. But I think it's probably, I mean, me, when I think about like up close doing technical work, I get intimidated. I'm like, do I need a different kind of camera? Like, how do you get that detail to show up in your video? Do you use your phone? Are you using something else?
it's just my phone. I have an iPhone X, and that's what I use. That's what I've always used. It's just my phone. I film all my YouTube videos on my phone. I have a membership site where I teach wood burning. I use my phone in there too. I have a fancy DSLR camera, but I don't ever use it because I feel like it has more limitations than just my cell phone. So,
So do you use like a
um,
stand? Is that a light behind you? Like a specific light that you use?
well, I've got studio lights in here. Like I've got one on me right now. Um, but if the weather's not great, I'll use my studio lights to film. But I try really hard. Like my desk is in front of the window,
Okay.
and I try really hard to use natural light because natural light's going to give you the best lighting. You don't have to set things up; it's just already good. So, and sometimes I'll go sit out on my porch on the shop. I've got an outlet right there next to the door, and I'll just sit on my porch and burn outside because I'll get some really good light. And I try to angle the camera so that nothing's backlit. If something's backlit, then it's kind of hard to see what you're doing in the forefront. So
That
just
is
little
so
things
cool that
like
you can
that.
work
And
outside.
I have a little hot socket. Yeah. I love working outside. If it wasn't, you know, early mid July, I'd be outside, but it's too hot now.
Yeah, where you are, it's definitely probably too
Um,
hot down south.
yes.
So,
And
yeah,
then I have a pop on, and so I just pop it out, and it's got a little stand on my phone.
that's so cool. That's really cool. It's good to know. I mean, that means that everyone can do it. Everyone can make those kinds of videos and content for their Instagram. A lot of people get intimidated by video, especially on Instagram. I think it's important for people to know that that's something that they can access if it's something that they want to start doing, to get their art out there in a different way. And it is engaging. It's fun to watch. Um,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
yeah, I'd love to know, like, what would you recommend for someone who would possibly be interested in getting to know more about pyrocrafting? Would Where could someone start?
Well, there's a lot of great free content on YouTube. There's a lot of, how to wood burn for beginners, that sort of thing. I have a video on YouTube about that, but then there's, a whole bunch of others too. You can get your tools and, where to get started, what kind of wood is good to get started. Pyrocrafters.com. I've got a blog where I try to go through some of that stuff. I try to go, use woods that are really accessible, stuff that I can get at Lowe's, stuff that I can get at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And, um, if you get on Amazon and look at pyrography books, there's a ton of good books too. There's, a pyrography basics book online, and then there's books like mine that have projects for beginners, and then there's books once you start getting more. There's more advanced books. There's courses online. I have a membership site where I have courses in the membership, but there's also some other pyrographers that have courses where you just you buy the course and you just go through the course one time. So there's a lot of content online. I haven't ever seen anybody teach one in person, but that doesn't mean it's not there. I just haven't seen it. But if you want to get started today, you could just hop on YouTube and see what's there and kind of get a feel for what to expect and what the tools are like.
That's so cool. So, is there anything that people need to know about, like, staying safe as a beginner and not, like, don't do this at home because you're gonna burn yourself? Like, what do people need to know about being safe?
Right. So, um, I've actually never burned myself on the pen before. It's harder than you think. I mean, most burners come with like a little built-in stand or some kind of stand you can hold the pen, so you don't, you're not going to set it down on something that's going to catch fire or whatever. And a lot of the pens have big, bulky, um, like this one's got like a big, bulky wrap around way up here, so you're not going to touch down there. To me, the biggest danger is the smoke inhalation, because
Oh,
sometimes you're right over your piece and you're going to be breathing all that stuff in. I have a mask. Where's my mask? That I wear. It's just like a respirator mask, and it has these big filters on it, and it keeps me from breathing in that smoke. I know when the COVID stuff started, they were kind of hard to find. I don't know if that's still the case, but um, if you go to Amazon or Google respirator mask, you'll see it. I use the 3M brand, and it's got these organic filters on it. Um, if you burn near a window, I always suggest burning near a window if you can, and like put a little fan in your window and let it pull some of that smoke out of the room, so it's not filling the room up. I have an exhaust fan here in the shop, and I've got this little tube that runs down so I can sort of like suck all the smoke out into the attic so it's not filling the room up where I am. And also, I used to have this little bitty desk fan. It was a little bitty, and I'd set it right next to me so it'd blow the smoke away from me. But yeah, I think if you can't find a mask and you really want to try it, you know, there's a lot of videos online where you can make like a homemade mask and you put something on so you're not breathing that in until you can get a better like respirator or something. But to me, that's the biggest danger. And you definitely don't want to burn anything that has chemicals on it. If you find a piece of wood that's got a varnish or a stain or a paint, a lot of people like to burn pallet wood, but you know, most pyrographers recommend not doing that because you don't know where it's been, what it's been used for. It's got chemicals on it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you more about that too, because you were just mentioning like certain types of wood that's softer that'll burn more easily. So like what type of wood is good? Like the better kinds to use.
So if you're going to like a Michael's or Hobby Lobby, you're going to see like 2 or 3 types of wood over and over, and that's going to be basswood, pine, and birch. There may be some differences here and there, but those are going to be the main 3. Basswood is the absolute best wood to burn because it's soft. And let's see, do I have a piece of that laying around? I don't. It's very bright white and it doesn't have any grains in it. You know, like pine has got like very definite like a dark grain and a light grain. Basswood is just like a solid bright wood and it's very soft. So if you want to add details, if you want to burn images, and like I do a lot of pet portraits, it's perfect for that.
Cool.
I like to use pine because it's cheap. So if I'm going to be doing like a silhouette, this is pine, a silhouette or something like that. I don't like to use this for pictures or images, but you can usually find it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's like pre-cut like this, and you know it only costs like $4 or $5 for a canvas.
Awesome.
But my most favorite is poplar. That's what this is. We use this clay because he's got the shop. He can buy a plank of this at Home Depot and cut it for me. It's super soft. And because we buy it at the store, I can make it whatever size I want.
Awesome.
And that's what I like about it. I'm not like limited to just the canvases they have at the store.
Cool. Thank you so much. That is really helpful information. So I want to circle back around because you mentioned your book and your book just came out recently and so can you I know you've got a copy by you. Can you tell us a little bit more about your book?
Sure. It's called
there's the book.
Drawing with Fire, A Beginner's Guide to Wood Burning. Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Kind of. It's breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can.
Yeah, it's frozen. So maybe we can put some pictures.
Wood burner throughout the book. It's like a craft burner you can pick up on Amazon or like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and you can do any of the.
Couldn't see anything. It froze before. But so you said there's templates in the book?
Not sure if I should keep talking.
But I'm really excited for you about this book, and I know it's amazing. I know you worked really hard on it, and I put a link to it for people that are interested in purchasing it or taking a look at it on Amazon in the comments. So there's a link to your Instagram, a link to your YouTube, and a link to the book on Amazon in the comments for this live. We haven't had any. Okay, yes. What does yes mean? Yes, it keeps freezing on her end. Okay, someone keeps it's saying that it keeps freezing. Okay. Well, there's a link to the book in the comments, so you guys can take a look there. I'm sorry that we're having some internet issues, but hopefully the beginning part wasn't freezing up, so that's good. Well, I loved having you on here, Aney, and thank you so much for your time. Maybe we can have you back again to talk more about the book. Um, I'd love to, if you have a video of it, I'd love to share that with people so that they can see it more. But since we're having some internet issues, I think we should probably go. So thank you so much for being on here, and I guess we'll try to catch up again some other time. Thanks, guys.